Kevin James here. Good afternoon, everyone. Kevin James, or I guess good morning, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Coming to you live from Atlanta. Know we're in the middle of the COVID-19 global pandemic. However, we're trying to bring some laughter and some light humor into your life as we're celebrating 10 years for the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival in the city of Atlanta. It's been amazing. And I tell you, when I wrote the concept several years ago, I wrote the business concept back in 2008 and 2009 and finally launched it in 2010. So the purpose of today is pretty much just kind of give you a little background. I know people have supported the festival over the 10 years, and we certainly appreciate it. But sometimes people wonder, like, where did this ice cream thing come from? And I apologize, I keep on wiping because I feel like bugs are attacking me. Right, we're live, so if I eat a bug, I'll just go through it. But at any rate, when we think about the concept of the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival, I created the concept quite simply to bring families to the park for a good old fashioned fun day. And I do have a culinary background, so when I look at my skill set of culinary arts and hospitality, I centered the event pretty much around those kind of principles, right? Food, something that brings families together for the natural sense of the food product. And naturally, when you think of Atlanta, of course, Piedmont Park, the premier park in the city of Atlanta. So there's really no other park where we would consider going to other than Piedmont Park in the city. So really, I wrote the concept, and then each year it kind of grew. First year, 2010, we had a nice little crowd out there. Really only had about one and a half vendors out of 10 vendors. And each year it just kind of grew from there. So we're up to over 100 vendors. And again, this year we're not having the in-person festival because we want to do our part of keeping everyone safe. We're absolutely following the guidelines as outlined from the health professionals and local authorities. So again, we will not be having the in-person festival on the fourth Saturday, which we always have the fourth Saturday in the city of Atlanta. But we definitely want to support social distancing and everyone just being safe. Just stay home. If you are going to round up, make sure you're following the guidelines as detailed from the local health officials and authority. That way, we can flatten the curve and hopefully rebound and get everyone back to whatever the new norm is very soon. So again, today we're going to have a little series of an interview. Stephanie Lee with the Rose brand is going to come in and moderate, and we're kind of go through and kind of share a little more insight of the festival and maybe a little snippet of what you can expect over the next 10 days. Again, as we celebrate 10 days of summer as part of the 10th annual Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. So welcome to the live broadcast. And again, if I keep slapping myself or I eat a bug, we'll just work through it. And yes, I am absolutely sweating out here. It is about 90 degrees in Atlanta, which is kind of like, festival slash ice cream weather. So it's definitely hot, definitely humid. But I wore my favorite tie-dye shirt just for you to bring some enthusiasm into your day. So without further ado, let's bring in Stephanie Lee with the Rose brand, and we'll kind of walk through some of the overall logistics and talk through 2010. Well, not 2010, but I guess over the last 10 years and take it forward. Stephanie, welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
As I was sharing with everyone before you came on, I'm hot. It's hot out here, and I'm in the shade. So you can imagine how when we're at Piedmont Park for the festival every year on that Saturday morning from 5 a.m. to pretty much 9 o'clock p.m., I feel like, the only drawback of not having it outside of the fun and all that, I'm not going to lose my 5 pounds. Because we normally sweat so much that we easily lose 5+ pounds. And so now I'm forced this year to make sure I work out and stay in shape. So without all of that, but yeah, definitely, it's good to see you, Stephanie.
Good to see you too. So, hi, I'm Stephanie Lee. So, I've actually been a part of the festival since day one.
Day
Actually,
one.
before day one. But
Yes.
we're gonna talk to Kevin today a little bit more about, what was the thought process behind starting the festival, where he actually birthed the festival. how long it took him to actually do the festival.
Yeah, it took a while.
um, yeah, so we've been talking to him for years. It was a couple of years that we talked to him about doing the festival, and so, to see it come to fruition, and then now to be at 10 years is like an amazing feat. And so, congratulations, Kevin, on your 10th annual Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. And though we wish we were doing it outside, just like you said, to stay safe, we are doing it virtually. So we're going to just be sharing a lot of memories over the years, and then also highlighting some of our partners, sharing some different fun activities that we're going to do throughout the week. So you guys just have to stay tuned and look out on the website for, different opportunities. So we're going to get started with this interview. So,
Uh-oh.
Kevin.
Yes. And should I first mention where I am at?
Sure.
So the birthplace.
Where was the birthplace of the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival?
Yeah, so the birthplace, if I can get this correct on camera, was here at Urban Grind, which is here in Atlanta on Marietta Street. So the honest piece is I wrote the business plan the first 5 years here at Urban Grind back in 2008. And to Stephanie's point, I sat on it. I sat on the concept for 2 years. And then we finally launched it in 2010. But the entire plan was written here. I would be inside right now, but I'm a little loud, so I didn't want to disturb the folks that are in there enjoying their coffee. But essentially, the concept was birthed here at Urban Grind in Atlanta.
Okay, awesome. So what made you want to even create an ice cream festival? I mean, there's not that many, so why?
Yeah, very few around the country, and I think one just came to San Diego. But I think probably there's fewer than 5 or 6 around the country within the 50 states. And so again, I created a concept because I wanted to have something in Atlanta that really focused and invited families to come out to the park for a good old fashioned fun day. So essentially what that means is a free event where families can come out no matter what socioeconomic background or walk of life you're from, but come out and enjoy America's number one dessert, ice cream. And then from ice cream, it has over the years grown into this amazing festival, not all about ice cream, but then including health and wellness, which we're going to talk about just shortly. But that's really the background. There was no other hidden agenda. It's free to enter. It doesn't cost to enter the footprint. A lot of the activities are free. When you're paying, you're pretty much patronizing the vendors directly for what you may consume or to decide to buy. So again, the festival is not bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars just by coming through the gate. No, that wasn't the concept. That wasn't the principle behind creating the event. It was more of just allowing families to get together. And so if you fast forward to where we are 10 years later, we're right back to focusing on family. If you think back to 2008 and 2009, we also were going through a crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people were losing houses, relationships, anything you had. And as a family man, I said, well, we can't lose the focus on family. We're kind of right back in that same place now in 2020 of unemployment rates skyrocketing. People are losing different possessions and things like that. People are even losing their lives. But yet family is that central nucleus that we want to keep together. So that's the principle behind the concept.
Right. That's awesome. So is there anything like, did you like ice cream? Is that was another reason why you created it? I mean,
Yeah.
I hear that you make a lot of ice cream at home. So
but what's funny is in Martha, the Mrs., she would tell you that she keeps telling me stop making ice cream. But I don't, I like to cook. So that's the culinary side, right? The culinary side of being in the kitchen and trying things. And I think I'm at a point that now that what she would appreciate if I make it, she's like, make it and give it away because I'm going to keep making it. And I'm not a trained ice cream maker. The concept was separate than me in the kitchen messing around or being creative. The creative piece was just who I am with having that culinary experience. But the concept of the festival was something that I thought was needed in the city of Atlanta, focused on families.
yeah. And I think it's been a very good staple. I know different people that I used to go to school with in elementary school, middle school, and high school, college. People are like, "Oh yeah, the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I actually know the guy that started it." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm there every year." And they're like, "Really? I don't see you
Yeah.
there." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of running around doing stuff, but So it's nice to hear that other people have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival." It's really nice to see that, that brings a smile to a person's face or lights up a family's, day. I know at the beginning, there was a lot of people that didn't really know what was going on. They would see us
Right.
setting up and saying, "What are y'all doing here? What are you guys doing?" And then we
Exactly.
invite them to come back and, come back to the festival. So I want to know, so what are some highlights of the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival that you really remember, love, cherish, and, just, really says the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival kind of is the essence of who we are?
In the city of Atlanta, right, we have tons of festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So from, it's safe to say, late March, mid to late March, typically on a non-COVID year, mid to late March, straight through till October, November, there are festivals every weekend. But we are essentially the largest food festival at Piedmont Park. And we don't take that honor lightly. It's just over the years we have crafted this event, and it's again focused on family. So it's family friendly, non-alcoholic, truly based on family, and just a good old fashioned fun day. So I think when I think about some of those moments, for me, there's nothing like sitting there because at the festival, once the festival starts, we're kind of relaxing for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say we're enjoying the day, but we're kind of relaxing and at that point troubleshooting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's nothing like the diversity of the folks that are coming from all walks of life, elderly, young, babies, from all streams, all walks of life from throughout the Metro Atlanta area, or out throughout the region. But I think looking out and just seeing this sea of diversity of everyone that has come together for this singular thing of ice cream is amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
again, thousands of people don't know me, so it's not like people are supporting. Hey, I appreciate the support, but they're not supporting me personally. It's just something about the name and the brand that we've created over the years that I believe people have seemed to want to support.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's my big takeaway, with just looking out and seeing just the diversity and everyone smiling, having fun. If they're not smiling, it's probably because it's 93, 94, maybe 95 degrees, but then everyone's in the shade as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much my major thing I look forward to.
That's awesome. I think one of the things I like the most is the ice cream eating contest. To watch
Oh yes.
grown people with no spoons or any
Yeah.
utensils to help them
Yeah, no spoons.
face first in a bowl of ice cream. That's like one of the most lovely things to see, and that's something that I like always look forward to and remember. I
But think
think,
about how competitive those little kids are.
yeah, they
You
are.
know,
They are very competitive.
when I think about that moment, I remember like being on stage at 3 o'clock, because it's always at 3 o'clock, and little kids, they'll be around the table, and some have the game face on, and some are just happy to be up there because it's free to participate. It's not a
Hmm.
recharge to be in the ice cream competition, which has been sponsored by Brewster's Real Ice Cream. So in that, they're standing there, but at the very least, they have a free serving of ice cream.
Hmm.
So some are up there with the game face on, ready to start eating. However that is, we don't give away the secrets. But some are just waving at mom and dad and brother, sister, mom, grandma. I remember last year, one kid literally was just posing for the camera, posing for the video camera, which is fun. It's fun because that's what it's all about, just
It is.
creating that fun-filled moment.
It is. Yeah, so that's one of my highlights. I think another one is watching the kids have fun in the kid zone. And I think that's something that we've really worked hard on, throughout the years to
Yeah.
make sure that's like a robust area for them. and just a place for them where they can have fun. I know the parents are probably like, y'all are killing our pockets because
Right.
kids want to get on all these different rides. But I think that's another thing that's like really nice to see, is to see the kids, interacting on.
So of course we have to pause, right? Because when we think back to year one, and those out there that have supported the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival over 10 years, when you're providing feedback, it's only making the event better. All feedback is good, whether good, bad, whatever the case is, because we literally read every message and try to make the event better. Now, considering it's free entry, so that there's not like there's a pot of $100,000 to start with. So we try to physically be sound when we're implementing some suggestions. But in that, I remember the first year, literally we had one inflatable, and that was our kid zone. It was literally one inflatable that I think you came in one end, obstacle up a little hill, kind of jump down and out, and that was it. And the kids was having so much fun that we just let them keep going as many times they wanted to.
Mhm.
And we had volunteers that were collecting whatever the $3 to go, and it was just fun.
Yeah,
But even looking at that experience, it was fun. I mean, I
it
think
was.
everyone had fun way back with that one inflatable.
Right, right. I think the only thing that actually helped us end, because I think our first vendor ran out of ice cream too, right?
Yeah, they ran out, I think, at 1 o'clock. That was,
Yeah, so they
and
ran out of
we started at 11, so the ice cream didn't last too long.
ice. So we ran out of ice cream, and I think the only thing that cooled people down past the ice cream was the rain that came.
The rain, and thank God for the rain, because the rain came at like 2:15 ish or so, and rained for maybe 40 minutes. But that's good because at that point, I mean, we had Aquila, which had the funnel cake. So the funnel.
So I think we have a little bit of a glitch here with the Wi-Fi, but what he was saying was we had funnel cakes that were out there as well. So people were eating the funnel cakes. And then I know at one point we had like little games and stuff going on. So people were still interacting and everything like that. But we definitely had rain the first year. And it was crazy because it was a very interesting thing. We were like, oh my goodness, we had rain, but at the end of the day, everybody really enjoyed themselves. We actually got really good accolades for the first year, and so that was exciting. So that was not the only year that we had rain, though. So we've actually had rain probably 2, 3, maybe 4 times each year we have the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. Accolades. So I think that's the interesting thing, is that we constantly have rain every year. So
Oh yeah,
and
the rain comes, but that's a good thing.
yeah, and I remember one year we were like, oh, we're about to lose all these people. And then literally people just went under tents.
Yeah.
They found a place to go, and then they were just like, okay, we're good. And so as soon as the sun came back out, people were buying ice cream and just hanging out like it had never rained. So
Yeah.
I think
And in
rain
fact,
has
I
been,
think
yeah,
that was in 2008,
it was in, so it's
2018.
been several. So it's been several. We've had about 4 or 5 different festivals that we had rain. Because I think that one was actually 2000, I want to say 16 or 17 that we had rain. And I think we've had rain like almost every year since that. since like the 16 or whatever.
And it's funny because I think it's in line with the this tropical weather that we're feeling in Atlanta, more tropical than 20 years ago when I first moved to Atlanta, kind of thing. It seemed like back then it was just hot and humid. Now it's hot, humid, and the daily chance of rain,
Right.
which seems to come every day wherever you are around Atlanta.
Exactly.
Every afternoon. Like it's 1:50 now. Who knows? Any moment we may get a little sprinkle.
Yeah. So rain has always been our guest, which it's cool. It works. I mean, it's hot those days anyway. We're all like, oh, it's about to be a hot day. But I think another thing I really like that we recently really, added and done really well is like the music. And just to see everybody on the lawn just chilling in the mid-afternoon after they've had a good
Yeah.
bite to eat from some of our savory food vendors.
Right.
And as their kids are just sitting there eating their ice cream, they're enjoying, our music and entertainment. So I think that's one thing I really, really enjoy as well too.
Stephanie, with the music, and that's the part where, of course, with the virtual, right, we try to see how we can incorporate music because the array of artists, all local artists that we've had over the years, had just been, I mean, just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wish that there was a way to bring them into different segments. But we'll look at bringing individuals back next year. I know Six Flow was one of the bands last year for the last 2 years that it seemed like everyone just absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a few others as well. So we just wish we had
Yeah,
an
we had the
opportunity.
guy that at the beginning, he came on with us for like what, maybe
Sir
four or
Crazy
5
Pants.
years. Yep, so Crazy Pants.
Sir
And the
Crazy
kids
Pants.
love him. The kids
Yeah.
love him. So that was a nice memory. I'm trying to think what else. The times that we are dealing with what else? Just moving. So moving is crazy.
Oh, that's something that a lot, but you think a lot of the attendees, they don't have the pleasure of seeing. The vendors know it. Oh
Yes.
wow. But you think we're moving in, pretty much 70% of our vendors are moving in within a 2 hour window, 2 or 3 hour window, the morning of, in preparation for everyone to come and enjoy the ice cream, which is a highly perishable product. So you have at least 50% of the vendors with highly perishable product that has left the freezer hour or 2 hours prior, and now they're coming in the rush to be connected to power within that window. So I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the attendees, unlike other festivals, because we're primarily a food festival, people don't see the anxiety that's there on the. But once the vendors are connected and they know everything's okay, then they have a rest, at least an hour and a half rest before attendees start to come.
Yeah. And
So
that's
the
when we
movement,
feel
yeah,
a
they don't
bit
see it.
too.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we probably finally have the cup of coffee or just finally have some water or
Right.
Gatorade or
Or
things of that
Gatorade or whatever, yeah, that
nature.
we can find. But yeah, so that's always a big thing for me is we're up there 6, sometimes 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning just to get ready
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the ice cream festival.
exactly.
So that's a joy of mine. I mean, I'm an event planner by trade, so
Yeah,
that's always been an exciting part of the day. It's just like you're going, 12, 13, 14 hours straight. Don't even know that
long
you're
day,
out here until the end. And then you're like,
long
oh,
day,
I need to go.
long day. A few pounds later. Um, but honestly, I think it's due to the support of the community, which is why we continue to do it because it's a lot of work. It's
Hmm.
it's a lot of work to get to the point of having the festival, and that's a whole lot of work for that 24 hours, 48 hours of the festival.
Yep.
So then breaking down, and of course, and all due respect to Piedmont Park Conservancy and making sure we're preserving and leaving the space better than what we came into the space.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a lot of work and an awful lot of responsibility. So again, we can't thank the community enough for just supporting the event from year one. And even honestly, there are over 6 million people in the Metro Atlanta area. There's probably
Hmm.
a overwhelming amount that has never heard of the ice cream festival. And each year we go by, more people learn about it, more come to enjoy themselves. So
Yeah.
thanks to the community just for your support
Yeah.
every year.
Especially those around the park, because I know they see so
Yes.
many festivals come through, but we're just grateful for them inviting us back every year and just saying, giving their feedback, but then also saying this
Absolutely.
is something that is really key and important for our community. So we're grateful for the neighbors, our neighbors. Um,
Yeah, Midtown Neighborhood Alliance and the MPUE and F. I see them every year when we, of course, present on behalf of the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival our plan. And I'd say the first couple of years they had some very, very critical feedback, but we took it, implemented, and now the engagement or the visits are much more seamless because we've listened and we've tried to implement as much as possible just to make it easy on those that live near the park. Because you can imagine if you live near Piedmont Park, with major events taking place all the time, and you're just trying to just get out and go to the store or just get home, to have the streets blocked and things like that, it's an inconvenience. So we try to just do our part, of course, as a community, to support those that live nearest the park. But with that, I could, if we didn't thank some other partners that we have, of course, the mayor's office of special events, under Mayor Lance Bottoms. I mean, thank you so much for just supporting and engaging and welcoming the festival over the last years, because of course, we had to share our concept before city council and the various departments. And each year we've tried to make it better. And I think the city has given feedback that we have, in fact, made it better. But also the Office of Parks and Recreation, Adrian Wright, she's been so gracious and kind of providing critical feedback, and her colleagues at Piedmont Park and Servicing. Atlanta Police Department,
Yes.
Sergeant Hutchins. So Atlanta Police Department, we only use Atlanta's finest for our security detail for the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. We make sure we go above and beyond the requirements that are requested on behalf of the mayor's office special events, but we only use Atlanta's finest, Atlanta Police Department. And the gentleman, Sergeant Hutchins, Shad Hutchins, he was actually, he passed away. I think it's been maybe 2 years now.
Yeah.
So in that, he was our initial point of contact for all of our security detail. Now, now Lieutenant Franklin, she has taken over, still on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, of providing that full detail just to keep everyone safe, right? And the Atlanta Fire Department, they have also been super helpful and supportive over the years. So, so when we look at working with our elected officials, city government, we couldn't pull this off without them. We know
Right.
back in 2013, the late Joan Garner, Fulton County Commissioner Garner, she presented the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival with a proclamation declaring that fourth Saturday of July in Fulton County as Atlanta Ice Cream Festival Day. And she has since passed due to cancer. But when I reflect of what that meant for the festival, that was highly impactful.
Mm-hmm.
It was so meaningful, and I tell you, it just meant a lot just to receive that proclamation. Again, individuals that don't know me, but have heard about the concept and have learned more about the concept of the festival, and realize there's something there to support. And
Mm-hmm.
again, we just can't thank everyone enough.
Yeah. And I think another big partner that we had is or have is FDHA, the Fulton DeKalb
Oh,
Hospital Authority.
absolutely.
They're, help us we work together in concert with them to put together our health and wellness
Yeah.
space. And I think that's been a big draw as well. Just because I think it's so important for people to think about their health and think about, staying well. I mean, in this day and time, like, it's easy to let get so busy and let your health take a back seat. But,
Yeah.
for the Gap Hospital Authority, they continue to, push and remind the community that your health is very important. And so they provided health and wellness screenings during the festival. And so just talk about a little bit about that partnership and, what that really means to the
Yeah.
festival.
So I tell you, FDHA, the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority, and I think they came on in year 5. And up until that point, with Stephanie Jones of Boomshop Fitness and Wellness, we were speaking through, of course, with the team members of how can we include more of the wellness perspective. And the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority, they heard the call and answered the call, and allowed us to receive short-term grant. And in that really allowed us to bring in and offer that free wellness pavilion on site at the festival. And again, that's another free opportunity for some
Mhm.
screenings, some wellness screenings. And also we support them throughout the year because they have other amazing work and outreach efforts. So when you think about the FDHA, Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority, they are the owners and operators of the Grady Health System here in Atlanta. So those that are Grady babies, as I've heard, from Grady Hospital, this is the governing body that owns the Grady healthcare system. So to have their support on many levels is just great. And although we're not having the in-person festival this year, we'll still be supporting them as we go throughout the remainder of 2020, but also look back to re-engage in 2000 or 2021 on a much
Mhm.
much greater and bigger scale. So yeah, FDHA is an amazing partner, and this would have been year six for them. So for the
Mhm.
last 5 years, we just really can't thank them enough for their support.
Yes, most definitely. I think too, it's just nice to have to know that there's a community organization that supports us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Especially since we are, a big food festival too.
Right.
And so I think that's an amazing thing. And they've been a very good partner as well, in helping us, bring in that wellness piece. We have a little shout out from Sweet Chimney Bakery.
Oh,
They said
Bia.
we're one of their favorite festivals.
Oh,
And so we
Bia.
told them
She's
we're
so
they
nice.
enjoy having them as a vendor as well. So Sweet Chimney Bakery, they're one of our
Uh,
vendors.
yeah.
They're
She.
definitely a crowd fave.
Oh
Everybody's like,
yeah.
"What can I get? Where's Sweet Chimney?"
And just so everyone knows, the image that you're seeing, this is in a Hungarian treat. So essentially, there's dough wrapped around a doll, and it's actually put into heat, whatever the heat mechanism may be used at that time, and it cooks the dough, and then the doll comes out, and then you actually can fill it with, of course, ice cream, right, or peanut butter, whatever your desire is, but you can fill it with whatever the treat is, and it's amazing because then you can kind of pull back the dough and eat it. Yeah, I've had one or two. It's pretty good. Uh,
We've had a few.
yeah, I've had a few. Stephanie, I also want to make sure we mentioned so people always wonder who is obviously one person, obviously two people can't put on this event. We
Mhm.
also have partners that sit on the organizing committee. Um, you know, So Melissa Fox or Fox Media PR, she handles all our promotional PR, advertising, press releases, press announcements, things like that. She's been on board for several years now, as well as, of course, Stephanie Lee. She just mentioned she's with the Rose brand, and Stephanie has been the longest partner on the organizing side since year one. And Organized Chaos with BB Williams. BB Williams, Organized Chaos. She's coming on the last few years, but she brings again the focus on the operations and the vendor focus and things like that. Because again, we're looking at over 100 vendors. You definitely need multiple experts to handle different zones to make
Mhm.
it go easy. And of course, last certainly not least, we already mentioned her name several times, Stephanie Jones with Boom Shock Fitness and Wellness. She is our resident health and wellness ambassador. So she kind of advises us in that space. What does the day of the festival look like
Mhm.
in terms of getting the crowds up and moving around? You will see her. We have some recordings that will be shown over the next few days and over the next weekend. So you'll have an opportunity to experience her energy just virtually. She's one that gets everyone up, moving around, whether young people, old people, teenagers, our elderly, up moving around and just breaking a sweat. Although you may have just enjoyed that delicious treat, but
Mhm.
then it gets you up moving around. So at least you can kind of break it down, sweat it off a little bit before you sit back and relax and listen to the next band or next
Right.
act on stage. So those
Right.
are some of our partners that help to bring this event live every
Mhm.
year. So it's not like you have just one or two people, and there's a whole committee that
Yep.
brings it live, and that's the sampling of the committee.
Yeah. And then I just want to give a shout out to one of our founding members of the committee. She's no longer with us, but
Yes.
we do a special um, 5K in her honor.
Yeah.
And it's Leah Dorch. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to cry.
Yeah.
But she was my mentor and really like put me under her wings and just show me the ropes when it came to event planning and stuff. but she just was like a selfless heart. She had a big heart, and she just gave, and that was one thing that I saw that she did for the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. She gave 110%. Like everything she could give, she could give. She had her siblings out there just like I did. um she had her kids out there.
Yeah.
And so, like, it was rough losing her the year, like a few days right before the festival. But I remembered just the promise we made her of continuing what we're doing, and really making a difference in the community. But then I also remember too that even as she was, losing her fight to cancer, she was worried about the festival. She was
Right.
asking us like, what's going on, Steph? What's happening? She couldn't talk at the time, but she just was looking at us like, tell me, tell me. And we were like, we don't want to tell you. We don't want to tell you. And she was just like, tell me, tell me. And as
Right.
soon as we told her that everything was good and that we had everything taken care of, she just had this peace, that came over her or whatever. And so I just am so grateful for, her contribution to the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival, and then even, her family continuing to support even in her absence. And so we're gonna talk to her kids later on this week, and just talk about what the festival means to them, and them growing up, with the festival, and then just how everything that we've done, even with the 5K, has impacted their lives as well.
And Stephanie, of course, I would just add that you know, yeah, Leah was definitely a very special person. So, and just so everyone knows, I mean, Leah was she was the CEO of Seven Dimensions, an event planning and operations event planning company. And she and her business partners, they were the first people I pitched this concept to.
Mhm.
So literally, when I went in there to the offices here in Midtown and pitched it to the organization, part of them were looking at me kind of crazy. Part, I didn't know what kind of response I was going to receive, but they absolutely saw the potential in the ice cream festival here in Atlanta. And
Mhm.
from there, to your point, Stephanie, I mean, 110, 15, 20, 50% behind the concept and just help to propel it forward every year. And yes, Brenton and Reagan Nesbitt, Leah surviving two children, we will be having a conversation that will be showcased on Sunday, July 19th, for everyone to hear. And then you'll have an opportunity to hear what they're doing in college because when Leah passed, she had a child in college. She had one going to college. So in that each year, we've managed to have an opportunity to raise funds and to donate to them directly from the walk, from the 5K walk. So of course, this year we're not going to have the Fight Cancer Walk, but perhaps between now and Sunday, there's a way to open it up. So those that can make donations to offset academic expenses for Reagan and Brenton. Um, Reagan is I believe, a sophomore at
Mhm.
NAMU in Florida, and Brenton would be a junior, I believe, at Hampton University
Mhm.
up there in Virginia. So real expenses that incur every year. So in Leah's honor, definitely, we'll love to support them as much as possible. But again, you'll hear an interview coming up this weekend with Reagan and Brenton, just so you can hear from the children directly.
Exactly. So we've shared a lot about the Atlanta ice cream story and kind of where it was birthed. We're sitting at where it was birthed. Well, Kevin's sitting
Yes,
at where it was birthed.
here at Urban Grind.
Urban Grind.
Yes,
Uh,
Cassandra Ingram is the owner over here. Urban, she's been here. I guess she's been over 10 years because, well, over 12 years. So yeah, Cassandra Ingram has been super supportive since earlier on before we even launched in 2008. So yeah, here at Urban Grind in Atlanta, off of Marietta Street.
yeah.
Really good coffee.
Shout out to Urban Grind.
Yes.
So I think, you've talked about, the story behind it, kind of what made you want to start the festival, what made you want to um, bring it here to Atlanta, just all the ins and outs of everything that we've gone through throughout the years, the ups and the downs. Um, so what are you looking to see going forward past 2020?
Oh, you know me so well, right? Just knowing that I'm a visionary, right? But also I believe in practical purpose, and I believe in putting things in motion. And in that, when the concept for the first 5 years was written way back in 2008, well, now we're in that uh, next 5 years. So I think there's an opportunity to grow and to continue growing. That does not mean just growing in Atlanta, because imagine Atlanta's taken care of. So I think there will be some other opportunities to kind of move around. I think the partners that we're having on board now, the vendors, select vendors, I think there's an opportunity to bring them with us. But also, there are other sponsors that have been reaching out, national sponsors that will help ease the transition of moving around to different cities. So
Mhm.
that's something on the table. So I strongly encourage those out there that are listening. If you do have interest to support um, as we move around, please send an email, send a message, let us know that there is interest, because literally we have a Rolodex of our vendors, but I think that there is an opportunity that those that are able and willing that can go with us. But we will not only stay in Atlanta. We will kind of move around a little bit. Yeah. So the email address is on the screen. Um, yeah. But so in that, so that's part of the festival component, but also there are other facets of the festival that as we grow, we want to make sure we're supporting the educational side of what we're
Mhm.
doing and the community side. So it's a food festival, but yet there's so much more than just ice cream.
Right. So, since we do have a plan for 2020 and beyond, what can people expect this week for our 10 days of summer?
Yeah. So how about this? So this week, man. So what we've tried to do now, of course, we can't have all of our vendors come on live and do pre-recorded conversations. So what we've tried to do is look at those that have been on board the longest, the tenure, right, and try to do something to include them every day over only 10 days. Because now when you look at 10 days and you start thinking about the number of events we have, 10 days seem like it's not enough. So what you can expect is it seems like there's more of three to four vendor shout outs per day. Now, in that, this is going to showcase vendors that have been on board for several years, or some of the very unique vendors that are on board, maybe in most recent years. For instance, when you think of ice cream, and this is not just ice cream, but also non-food things like that. But when you think about ice cream, right, we have this thing called liquid nitrogen, which is a thing. So you'll see one of the vendors come on, and we'll do a live simulated kind of preparation of what does that look like with liquid nitrogen ice cream, as well as rolled ice cream. So that's something that was popular over the last few years. Thai rolled ice cream, where you're laying the cream on the metal um, top, and you're flatten it out and you're rolling it, and it looks all cute and nice in these rolls with a little topping on it, as well as just good old fashioned heavy scooping ice cream. We
Mm.
have some of those vendors as well. Now, of course, a hot cookie. This young lady, she has an amazing cookie brand, and these cookies are absolutely to die for. And then she's put ice cream in the middle of these cookies. Now, and I've been to her shop, and she's going to be featured this week, so you'll find out her location. But it's just so nice, especially red velvet cookies with whatever your choice of ice cream in the middle, and it's warm.
Mhm.
It's amazing. But even with the cookies, not as famous, not as famous cookie, and not as famous cookies. You probably have seen them because they actually have the food truck,
Yeah.
and used at a lot of different festivals and events and community events. So although you probably can't go to the brick and mortar, you probably seen it. You may have already had his cookie this summer somewhere, because he actually tends to be at a lot of the community events. Um, but then also, I mean, we're focusing again. It's not all about ice cream, but Life South is a bloodmobile. They collect blood. They have a location here in the Metro Atlanta area, and they're still looking for donations for blood. So we'll be showcasing them as a vendor, as a partner for the last, I think they've been on board probably the last 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then some live demonstrations. You know, we have Chef
Mm-hmm.
Jabbar coming on. He was at the festival for the first time last year, and he does some like little tricks, kind of hiding some food items under pots and pans, and um, pretty interactive. And then, I mean, we have ice cream from all kinds of ethnicities and cultural backgrounds, and we'll be featuring a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
over the next 10 days. So again, that's just a sampling. We have a lot more to try to compress into 10 days. We're gonna try our best. If anything, we just want to make sure you know in the Metro Atlanta area, because all of these vendors are from within the Metro Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
So you have so many different local vendors you can support, whether it's ice cream, dairy, non-dairy, or non-food ice cream vendors that you can support in the metro area.
Yeah. So that sounds exciting. So for those that are trying to figure out how you can tune in to our 10 Days of Summer from July 16th through the 25th, we will be online in some capacity.
Yeah.
You can visit the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival .com. So it's atlantaicecreamfestival.com. And we will have our fun little interactive videos that will be shown there. You'll be able to see the highlights from our vendors and highlights, health and wellness tips, all different types of things that we're going to be doing this week. So you definitely don't want to miss anything. We will have it on Facebook Live pretty much every time that we go live. We'll have some pre-recorded stuff, and so it'll be like a watch party that we'll do. But everything will be on Facebook Live or our website. So tune in to both those places, and we definitely look forward to celebrating our 10th birthday with you guys during these 10 days of summer.
You know,
So
Stephanie, I almost forgot to add one other thing. Man,
what?
when we're talking about how this concept began, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, in the research phase, there were 3 different companies I spoke to that literally I called out of random. They
Mm-hmm.
answered, and I asked them questions. They did not know me. They just heard ice cream festival, like, oh, sounds cool. Tell me more. So I have to give a special shout out to Greenwood Ice Cream here in Atlanta. Greenwood Ice Cream has been here a very long time in the metro area. They have, and they are a manufacturer and distributor of ice cream. They don't sell to, well, they may sell to the public now, but back then they didn't sell to the general public. Greenwood Ice Cream, as well as Jake's Ice Creams.
Yes.
So of course, the location off of the Beltline over near Croc Street, have the location there. And Zestos, I think Alan, I think he was the president over there. We were trying to get them on board for the first few years, but because they don't do off-site events, it's kind of hard for them to move these big pieces of equipment for a temporary period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I called all 3 of them and just was kind of just, hey, I got an idea and how to start it, all 3 of them were super supportive and just gave me so much positive feedback and insight that helped to formulate where we are and where we went from those conversations. So I definitely had to give a special shout out to Greenwood, Jake's, and Zestos for their ear and their support.
Thank you so much. So,
Absolutely.
as we stated earlier, we have 10 days of summer from July 16th to the 25th, and we are going to have a special July 25th because that was actually the day that we would have had our live festival.
Yes.
So, you'll have to tune in for a little longer. We'll have smaller snippets each day leading up to that, but it'll be more programming on that Saturday. So, if you guys have different things that you're doing, come to the Facebook page and, shout out and talk about your fun family events that you're going to have these next couple of days. And then also for those that have been a part of the ice cream festival in the past and have attended, we would love for you to just share your favorite moment or your favorite experience at the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival Feel free to share pictures and videos or whatever you have, because we may be highlighting some of our patrons this week as well.
Yeah.
And then we have some fun interactive games and stuff. We're going to do some giveaways, so you have
Yes.
to stay tuned in
In,
order
in
to
fact, in
be.
fact, I think everyone's probably wondering about this shirt. I don't know. So maybe there's a way. I don't know. Maybe there's a way. Christina Gibson, she is actually our shirt vendor. Um, so I don't know. Maybe there's a way we can coordinate something this week, just as a teaser. I don't know. But that means you got to stay tuned because you're only going to get it if you're logged in. So, but there's probably a way you can get one of these tie dye, which is my favorite, the tie dye Atlanta Ice Cream Festival shirts.
Shirts. Yes, yes, yes. So for those looking to tune in with us, you will join us on our website, www.atlantaicecreamfestival.com, or join us on Facebook Live. So without further ado, we would just love to say thank you for those that have tuned in to our talk video. And we thank you for listening to the story about how the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival began. And thank you, Kevin, for just being selfless and starting this festival, because you could have easily been doing anything else during your service, but to create something that Atlanta is known for, and a fun family adventure and an experience and memory, because memories are very important. And so I think this is something that, you know, people can remember for years to come and say, I remember when at the Atlanta Ice Cream Festival. So thank you for starting it and for going forward with your vision and it not staying at urban grind in a notebook.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Stephanie, thank you so much for your support over the years. I think it's been amazing. And again, we have many other years to go, but the fact that we have had the opportunity with the support of the community and City of Atlanta and the Mayor's Office of Special Events in the community, just to bring this event to life and for it to be meaningful, not just another event. Um, that's it feels good just to know that there's something that will be here for a very long time. And I see a lot of comments are coming in here, coming in here. I think somebody said they came with the Tabitha Joseph said she came with the grandkids and the youngest son who's graduating now off to college. Wow, someone.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So that means you've been around a few years, Tabitha. But thank you for your support. And it's really, and I always go back to what keeps the event going is the feedback of saying yes, had a great time, yes, had a so-so time, but some suggestions that only makes it better. Again, if we had $100,000 coming in off of ticket sales, oh, we could do kites and balloons and big Ferris wheels and things like that. If you're paying $25 to come in, but that was not part and will not be part of the concept. The concept is allowing everyone from all walks of life just to come down to the park for a good old fashioned fun day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have money, if you have currency to contribute to enjoy more, or if you don't, sit back. There's always vendors giving out free things, free items, and just enjoy the day of live entertainment at the park.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna sweat, so it's healthy because you're gonna sweat. I don't know. I think I probably sweat maybe 2 pounds off today since we've been here. But at any rate, I mean, I definitely see this as an amazing opportunity for us in the Atlanta community. So thanks everyone for your support.
Oh, yes. And thank you, Scoop San Diego, for their
Yes.
congrats, too.
Yeah, they're doing some big things over there in San Diego. We have to, I guess, when we get to 2021, find out their dates because I think there's an opportunity to visit back and forth. I love how they're partnering with local ice cream parlors and give them a shot. And I see CJ in the background. He's excited about ice cream. He was in the womb last year. No, 2 years ago.
A couple of years ago, yes.
But definitely Hoop in San Diego. I think they're doing some great programming over there. So there's an opportunity for us to collaborate for sure.
Awesome. So we look forward to spending the next 10 days with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.